I want to give a little history on my governor, the governor of California.
Let's start with the felonies.
Well, I was going to start with his LBGTQRST history, but I guess felonies is a little more interesting.
After the 2010 San Bruno gas pipeline explosion, PG&E was convicted of 5 felonies for willfully breaking federal gas pipeline safety laws and 1 count of obstruction for misleading federal investigators about the disaster.
And Donald Trump got impeached over obstruction over a damn phone call. Ain't that a bitch?
8 people died in the San Bruno explosion.
And nobody died over the phone call.
Fast forward to now, prosecutors are investigating PG&E for starting the 2018 Camp Fire and tell us they're considering charges as serious as 85 counts of manslaughter for the people killed in that disaster.
Damn, that's almost as many as people as Hillary Clinton assassinated.
We've been digging into the story since that fire burned 8 months ago. After it did, the federal judge overseeing PG&E's probation felt the need to point out that a corporation cannot go to prison.
Well, when my baby mama come up missing, I'm going to change myself into a corporation. That's going to be my pronoun. If transgenders can call themselves them, they, he, and whatever, I can call myself a corporation, just in case I get arrested for manslaughter.
PG&E hasn't been a model federal offender. The judge ruled the company violated its probation earlier this year. While on that probation as a felon, PG&E donated $4 million to political causes and campaigns for office.
Damn, if I had half of that half of that half of that half, I would be rich.
That means 8 out of every 10 sitting state lawmakers took money from a convicted felon.
The Democratic Party is sponsored by convicted felons and rapists. And I forgot child molesters.
And Newsome got $208,000 between his campaign and the spending group helping him to win office.
That's because he was helping them beat out murder.
So we had a simple question. Why is that okay? We asked the governor to sit and chat with us at a time and place of his choosing. He didn't accept.
That's because you wasn't a criminal. Next! Is Gavin Newsome running for office or not?
It's a question I've asked.
You have also said that the National Party is not doing enough. Do you want to take this fight to the national level and run for national level?
No.
And several other journalists have asked Governor Newsome. His response?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with every one of us needs to do everything in our power to wake people up and to sober people up to what's going on in this country.
Gavin Newsome sober people up. Hell, half of California is on crack. How in the hell is Gilbert Newsom is going to sober somebody up?
But he paid for these advertisements to run across the country in Florida.
Yeah, because he knew better than to run that shit in California. We know better.
And spends time posting on former President Donald Trump's Truth Social.
And I know we're all on this platform in search for the truth. But the truth is, I've not been able to find a simple explanation for the fact that we have a red state murder problem.
And California got a lying-ass governor problem. Next! Oh, and don't let me forget about the homeless problem.
Well, President Trump blamed Democrats for crime and homelessness in some of the nation's largest cities at a rally in Ohio Thursday night,
which the gay Prince of Bel-Air has done nothing about.
He specifically went after California and what he calls horrible conditions there.
And that's being polite. Next! Back to the felonies.
So we showed up to ask him today. Governor, why is it okay for you to take money from a felon?
And you know that the way you frame that is going to lead me to ask you to flesh
Your
that
office
out.
is aware of my question. I've tried to schedule time to talk with you about this.
I don't know what you're
PG&E was convicted of 6 federal felonies in 2016. After that, you took more than $200,000 to help get elected. How should people trust you to be running the show to come up with the solution?
You shouldn't. Next question. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask the next question. Is you going to run for president?
So it's a fair question. A question political analyst Steve Swat said he should fully expect.
This is a sort of a campaign tactic where he's taking the fight directly to Republicans. And I think nationwide, a number of Democrats who believe that their party's messaging is lacking, I might find this interesting.
Joe Biden out, the gay Prince of Bel-Air is in. That's if Gavin Newsom can beat his damn felonies.
I wish you luck with whatever you're working on, but that's a strange question.
Well, I know it's a strange question. It's a strange time, but there's a convicted federal felon making campaign donations in this state to our duly elected leaders, including the speaker, who took almost $9,000.
That's pennies to Nancy Pelosi. She got inside trader secrets. Next! Why in the hell is Gavin Newsome inside of Florida business anyway?
Some Democrats, like Florida's statewide elected agricultural commissioner Nikki Fried, who is running to replace Governor DeSantis, took to Twitter saying she can handle her own fight.
And worry about California. Next!
The Biden camp is probably looking over its shoulders in some respect because the approval ratings of the president are low.
And Hunter Biden ass is probably high. Next! Back to the felonies.
Look, we're trying to focus on the
It's a serious question. You don't think people want an answer to that?
It might make. We are focusing very, very collaboratively on addressing the issue of not only one IOU that went bankrupt, but the prospects of 2 IOUs going bankrupt. The prospect that 2 in Southern California will have a downgrade in their bond rating.
Well aware of the issue. Is it okay for you to take the money from them with the felony conviction? They're still serving their sentence, for crying out loud.
Damn the money. Let's talk about murder.
We have additional questions.
Yeah.
Governor, I've got a policy question about the wild card.
You're not going to answer. You're not going to answer the question.
I don't know what more I can say that will.
You can say whether you agree it was okay to take money from a felon and will you give it back.
We have additional questions.
I know you have additional questions. All right.
Policy questions.
Y'all don't think questions about murder is more important than questions about taxes? Next! Trump tried to warn us about Gavin Newsome.
Trump then called out Newsome by asking the crowd, quote, "How about this clown in California who's running for governor?" Newsome took the clown reference and kicked it up a notch, writing on Twitter, quote, "LOL, hi, real Donald Trump." Interesting description coming from the guy who is literally locking up kids like Pennywise.
Ain't that a bitch? The gay Prince of Bel-Air got jokes. Well, the homeless problem is not funny.
Nearly half of all the homeless people living in the streets in America happen to live in the state of California.
A group of moms in California making an emotional plea to Governor Gavin Newsome. They are asking him to do more about drug addiction and mental health.
What they are doing to our beautiful California is a disgrace to our country. It's a shame. The world is looking at it.
And they started an awareness campaign that's catching some attention. This week, they're using a billboard, and you can see it there on your screen, showing a tent city with a sign that reads Camp Fentanyl, open to kids everywhere.
Look at Los Angeles with the tents and the horrible, horrible, disgusting condition.
The billboard calls on the governor to shut down open-air drug markets.
If these Democrat liberal politicians don't straighten out, the federal government will have to come in.
And this is happening as the most recent state data shows nearly 4,000 people died of fentanyl overdoses in 2020, more than 70% of the state's total opioid deaths that year.
The conditions in Nancy Pelosi's once great city of San Francisco are deplorable. They're deplorable. We're not going to lose cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and others that are great cities. We're not going to allow that to happen to our cities.
And since Trump been gone, Cali been gone. Next! The gay Prince of Bel-Air is a fraud.
I want to make it clear that everything you've heard and read is true.
A fraud and a cheater.
But the candidates were not afraid to go on the attack, like when GOP Assemblyman Travis Allen went after Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsome over his affair with an aide.
And I am deeply sorry about that.
Who was also the wife of his campaign manager.
And I forgot to mention a snake.
I've hurt someone I care deeply about, Alex Turk, his friends and family. And that is something that I have to live with and something that I am deeply sorry for.
If you can't trust Gavin with his best friend's wife, how can you trust him with your state?
I am also sorry that I've let the people of San Francisco down. They expect a lot of their mayor, and my personal lapse of judgment aside, I am committed to restoring their trust and confidence. Yeah, I mean, it's hard with respect to hear from Mr. Allen, who's a devout supporter of Donald Trump talk about the issue of sexual harassment. And we'll work very hard in the upcoming months to make sure that the business of running the city is framed appropriately.
The gay prince of Bel-Air can't run a city, a state, or a damn marriage. How in the hell he gonna run a country? Next! Especially with his job performance with rules for thee and not for me.
And that is very soberly acknowledged that a few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife and I, a friend that I've known for almost 20 years, and a friend that had, put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday.
So what? We put a lot of time and energy into my grandmother getting out, and we couldn't give her a welcoming home party.
It was in Napa, which was in the orange status, relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was to be an outdoor restaurant, and we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations.
Like the Rams game you went to, that was an early playoff game too.
These are the photos that have generated the controversy. You see Magic Johnson posing with Governor Newsome yesterday during the Rams 49ers game at SoFi.
The gay prince of Bel-Air could have killed Magic Johnson.
I got there a little bit late at 4:30, and as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated.
So you're the governor, and you didn't have a guest list from the Secret Service on who was at the party.
The governor was then, Magic was then pictured with LA Mayor Eric Garcetti, San Francisco Mayor London Breed, while Magic is tweeting out, hanging out at SoFi, presumably from his private suite or a private suite at the stadium.
And the day after that, the mandate was over. Next!
And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back to my house.
So as you mentioned, they are without masks. But Governor Newsome this morning told me that he was simply being gracious for the moment, a brief moment, when he took the mask off to be photographed.
Instead, I chose to sit there with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household.
The people that you didn't know was going to be there.
You can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but the spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that.
No, I do not.
And so I want to apologize to you.
And don't you ever say I did.
Because I need to preach and practice, not just preach and not practice.
We wrestle not with flesh and blood,
but lie with Democrat temptation.
You're correct. I was very judicious yesterday, very judicious. And you'll see the photo that I did take where Magic was kind enough, generous enough to ask me for a photograph.
And you risked his damn life trying to take it.
And I've done my best to do that. We're all human. We all fall short sometimes.
Oh, don't worry. I'll fall short of my child support all the time.
We've been out, and I think for 3 times since, in fact, I know it's been 3 times because I remember all of those dinners very, very vividly since February, just 3 times. And in my left hand's the mask, and I took a photo. Twice with my wife, by myself, outdoors, and then this one occasion with a larger group. And there were just a few extra people there than the spirit of what I am promoting.
A damn few extra people, my ass. That was a damn dinner party. And your ass is out here promoting lies.
So I just want folks to know that. Paid for our dinner, and we had an early dinner, but didn't matter. I shouldn't have been there. I should have turned back around.
But you didn't, and stayed there and ate your Grey Poupon.
And so when that happens, you pay the price, but you also own the mistake, and you don't ever make it again. And you have my word on that.
Your word ain't shit.
And just know, this has not been a practice I've indulged in the past. I take it very seriously, what we are promoting, and have been doing so for many, many months. And you should expect nothing less of me, and I expect more from myself.
And you didn't take it serious in the future either. So you didn't meet expectations of your damn self.
The rest of the time I wore it, as we all should. Not when I had a glass of water
or things.
That was kind of obvious, genius.
But again, COVID fatigue is exhausting, and I'm empathetic beyond words.
You are? That's why you're a dictator.
And you have that commitment in my resolve in that respect as well. So when I say minimize mixing, I mean it.
And I encourage everybody else to do so. And that's it.
Do what the hell I say or else. Next! The gay Prince of Bel-Air wasn't never shit. That's why his first wife left him.
So this is a small point, but I totally forgot it. So the Trumps are moving to town. There's this question, what is his wife going to do? She's, of course, the First Lady of the United States now. What's her role? You were a First Lady. Yeah. I completely, of all the many things you've done in your life, let me just interject really quickly. Kimberly Guilfoyle is one of the people here at Fox who has, as we say, lived a life outside television. She's done a lot. But you were First Lady.
Kimberly Guilfoyle used to be married to a major city's Democratic mayor. Now she's engaged to the Republican son of the 45th president.
Because Donald Trump Jr. don't prefer butt sex.
Hi, Governor. Since nobody has asked this yet, I will jump on the grenade on behalf of everybody.
You don't have to.
Well, we are. Do you prefer rubber or plastic dildos?
Don, you are strong, smart, courageous, funny, and the love of my life. I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. Love you.
Because Don Jr. prefer pussy. Next!
Good evening, America. I'm Kimberly Guilfoyle. I speak to you tonight as a mother, a former prosecutor, a Latina, and a proud American. And yes, a proud supporter of President Donald J. Trump.
Latinos for Trump.
According to inside sources who spoke to the Daily Mail, the couple have actually been engaged for a year.
Don Jr. say his sex life don't involve taking turns from the back.
You don't have to.
I'm curious if you are watching the RNC and if you had a response to your ex-wife
who's talking about your ass like a dog, and she would know your dog ass best.
Now, presidential leadership is not guaranteed. It is a choice. Biden, Harris, and the rest of the socialists will fundamentally change this nation.
She forgot Gavin Newsom's name on purpose. She gonna send a subliminal.
Now, I consider it my duty to fight to protect that dream. Rioters must not be allowed to destroy our cities. Human sex drug traffickers should not be allowed to cross our border. The same socialist policies which destroyed places like Cuba and Venezuela must not take root in our cities and our schools.
Well, it's damn near too late for California. It's done got so bad, people in California is moving to Mexico.
If you want to see the socialist Biden-Harris future for our country, just take a look at California.
It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state.
It is a place of immense wealth, immeasurable innovation, and immaculate environment.
Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors.
And the Democrats is freeing criminals and victimizing victims.
I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California.
Yeah, because you all need their trucks back from people moving from California to Florida.
I do want to mention that Republicans have responded to all of these advertisements. They've laughed it off. Governor Ron DeSantis' press secretary did say that California is not going to get back all of the U-Hauls that left from California to Florida.
U-Haul will pay you to drive their trucks back from Florida. Next!
But we still believe in freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, and the freedom to love.
And the freedom to get your ass out of jail with no bail. Next!
Said in prime time the other night that California is a land of discarded heroin needles in parks, riots in streets, and blackouts in homes.
Gavin Newsom's ex-wife knew Gavin Newsom was going to mess up California.
And the Democrats turned it into a land of discarded heroin needles in parks, riots in streets, and blackouts in homes.
Don't let them take your freedom.
In California, you ain't got to worry about them taking your freedom. You got to worry about them taking your purse, your car, or your life.
This may leave you wanting, but let me first acknowledge that I appreciate you landing yourself on the grenade. And let me just extend appreciation for your effort to get my response, and I respectfully defer to the next question.
Well, I will ask the next question. Are you gay?
There's no need to adjust your television set. What you see behind me is San Francisco City Hall bathed in red light.
That statement. Genetically, DNA, it's man and woman. It's what the marriage, and are we being semantic? So call it liberal union, call it gay.
The color of passion. It's Valentine's Day weekend, and today marks the one-year anniversary of Mayor Gavin Newsom allowing same-sex marriage in San Francisco.
In 1948, Larry, these were the same. There were not dissimilar arguments, not quite analogous, about the fact that races were put on separate continents around the world because God decreed that they shouldn't in any way, shape, or form procreate.
Because you fight for gay rights more than Don Lemon.
The point is, some of these arguments are increasing. I mean, they're just reminiscent. With respect to the pastor, I'm a practicing Catholic.
Don't let God know.
I got married in the church 2+ years. I don't see what we're doing in terms of advancing the bond of love and monogamy and extending that to families of same sex in any way, shape, or form takes away anything from the church or the sanctity of the union that my wife and I have.
Well, it kind of takes away from how God meant things to be. Next! What people don't understand is if it was no Donald Trump, there would be no Gavin Newsom. Because Donald Trump is Gavin Newsom's daddy.
See if you can tell which one I'm talking about. If you oppose him, he could care less about what you think. His past is checkered. He's outspoken, opinionated, brash. Cocky? That's an understatement. Stubborn. There isn't a mirror he doesn't like. Hairstyle is important to him. He's about moving things in a new direction. His direction. Raised in privilege, losing is not an option. Polarizing. You have a very strong feeling about him. He's always right. One was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle, while the other's son is dating her.
Yeah, that may be true, but the difference is one of them own they shit.
These qualities are shared by both. No wonder why they dislike each other so intensely. They know each other well.
Wait a minute, I just thought of something. If Don Jr. and Gavin Gay Newsom is brothers, that means Don Jr. pulled Hunter Biden and slept with his brother's ex-wife.
But California Governor and liberal Democrat Gavin Newsom has moved from a, quote, resistance leader to an unwitting Trump surrogate.
That could be true because Donald Trump is Gavin Newsom's daddy.
So we've had a lot of good partners, not all good partners, but we had a lot of good partners. Gavin Newsom today thanked us very much. Gavin Newsom, California, thanked us so much for getting him all the things that he needed.
Did Gay Newsom call and say, thank you, Daddy?
I want to thank you and acknowledge the work that you've done to be immediate in terms of your response to our FMAG request 14. We were just talking, Mark Gilladucci is the head of the Office of Emergency Service. This may be a record that the state's received in the FMAG support.
Well, Donald Trump got to look out for his kids. He ain't never been a deadbeat.
So he can keep going and keep doing a good job. We got it to him today. Tomorrow we're getting him even more.
Because Donald Trump got to make up for not being there all of Gavin Newsom's life.
According to a new article in Politico, which calls Newsom a, quote, breakout star in the president's re-election campaign.
And a son of Donald Trump that Donald Trump didn't claim until now.
As well as the major disaster declaration, which you referenced on August 22nd, which was profoundly significant.
Look, just a couple of months ago, Gavin Newsom was the warrior in the state of resistance, the lead state against Trump, one that has filed more than 7 lawsuits against him.
Until he found out Donald Trump was his daddy.
Not only to help us support our mutual aid system, but also individuals that are in desperate need of support.
That has all changed with the pandemic. They are best of friends, it seems. There's almost a bromance going.
Good personal relationships. We've maintained a strong personal relationship with the vice president. We've made a strong personal relationship with the president. And I can only say this, and I say this on many, many occasions. There's not one phone call that I have made to the president where he hasn't quickly responded.
That's more than my son can say for me.
These men and women were quite literally called up a few days ago came from hospitals all over the state of California and the region and came together under the order of President Donald Trump. And almost in every instance, he's responded favorably in terms of addressing the needs, the emergency needs of the state through COVID and over the course of the last at least year and a half that I've been governor.
As every day, President Trump lavishes praise on Gavin Newsom, and the feelings seem to be mutual.
And I want to just thank the president personally on behalf of a grateful region, on behalf of a grateful state, for sending this ship and the incredible resources that reside within this ship to the state of California.
In part because Gavin Newsom runs the world's fifth largest economy, what he calls a nation state. He's needed those PPEs, those ventilators, and he's gotten what he's needed from President Trump.
Gay Newsom is only a somebody because Donald Trump made him a somebody.
Is every time I've called the president, he's quickly gotten on the line. When we asked to get support for that Mercy ship in Southern California, he was able to direct that in real time.
Because Donald Trump had to look out for his son. I don't know if Gay Newsom, the oldest, in the middle, or the fourth to the last, or the fifth to the first. I don't know which one is he.
Just this week, 100,000 swabs, and he praised President Trump, even repeating his campaign slogan, promises made, promises kept.
So he can keep going and keep doing a good job. We got it to him today. Tomorrow we're getting him even more.
Could not have happened soon enough, and it would not simply have happened without his support and leadership.
In a statement today, we've done a good job. We've gotten very little credit for the great job we've done because of the media, because the media is not an honest media, in my opinion.
The Democrats going to have to admit that Donald Trump is Gavin Newsom's daddy.
We got 2,000 of these field medical sites that are up, almost all operational now in the state because of his support. And those are the facts.
His team has been on it. I know a team when they're on it, and I know a team when they're not on it. His team is on it. They've been responsive late at night, early in the morning.
I don't know who his daddy is, but I know who Gay Newsom daddy is.
That's a shocking thing for a lot of Californians out here, a lot of Democrats, but that's the way it's going. It's cooperation and it's bipartisanship, something we haven't seen, as you mentioned, in the months preceding.
Not only did Donald Trump look out for his son, but he also looked out for his son's friends.
These were just extraordinary efforts and acts of mobilization. And the federal government stepped up. We needed help, and they were there.
He said everything that I could have hoped for. And we had a very long conversation. And every single thing he said, they followed through on.
These were just extraordinary efforts and acts of mobilization. And the federal government stepped up. We needed help, and they were there.
Gay Newsom daddy looked out for Gay Newsom and Gay Newsom liberal ass friends. Next! And Gay Newsom was doing so good until he turned his back on his daddy.
Early yesterday morning, Donald Trump tweeted that states needed to be liberated, as I'm sure you saw. Yesterday afternoon, we saw a fairly large protest in Huntington Beach from folks aligned with the president wanting you to open up the state more quickly. I know you have said consistently that the president and the federal government have been good partners.
And it's worked.
Now, the Trump campaign has actually been using Governor Newsom's words in an ad to re-elect the president. I'm wondering if there's been any reaction from Newsom to that.
Are you concerned that when the president broadcasts a message like that, it undermines your efforts to keep people safe and to gradually reopen?
There hasn't been reaction from Newsom, but there has been reaction from Democrats here in California. Some of them say that he's going to help re-elect President Trump.
So the Democrats made Gay Newsom make a choice. Your daddy or us.
Guys, none of this surprises us. You can write this script. We've lived through this movie.
Where if you don't agree with the Democrats and oblige by their rules, they're going to expose your ass as being gay.
I imagine you'll see a lot more of that.
Well, if you would have stayed listening to Trump and stayed kissing Donald Trump's ass, you would have been on top right now.
The Republican-led effort to recall Governor Gavin Newsom now has enough voter signatures to qualify for the ballot.
Yeah, the government-led effort headed by Democrats. Next! Gay Newsom numbers was up when Donald Trump was his daddy.
But the fact is, look at his poll numbers, Lana. That's the bottom line. And his campaign is repeating that promises made, promises kept quote that Newsom gave out this week.
He said everything that I could have hoped for. And we had a very long conversation. And every single thing he said, they followed through on.
But when Gavin Newsom disrespected his daddy, his numbers drastically changed.
Now, there are still a lot of steps before a recall will be put on the ballot. Voters who signed the petition will now be given time to withdraw their signatures if they choose. Secretary of State Shirley Weber then has to certify the recall petition. State officials also have to figure out how much a recall election would cost. And all of that, it could take months.
Gavin Newsom messed up all the momentum his daddy gave him.
Newsom is the number one. Yeah. Newsom is the number one.
I mean, those poll numbers, which you mentioned in your article, his the approval ratings for California's governor are off the chart.
And now Gavin Newsom approval rating is in the damn trash. That's why he had to call up the so-called big cats to help him out with his recall campaign.
Got a big choice to make by September 14th.
President Obama on TV.
Today, we fight for Gavin Newsom.
Vice President Kamala Harris visiting last week, and a rally with President Biden tonight.
And that's where Gavin Newsom messed up, bringing in a bunch of losers when he was kissing ass of a winner.
Right now, 83%, according to, I think it's 538, which ranks him as number one among the nation's governors.
You can't go from first to worst. Hell, that's worse than Kamala Harris because she was never in first.
The Secretary of State's office reports that more than 1.5 million verified voter signatures were submitted.
And trying to get Gavin Newsom out of office because he was helping Donald Trump.
That he is hurting Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is doing a damn good job of that his damn self.
Couldn't be more privileged and honored to have the president with us on a critical moment, or at a critical moment in this campaign.
Well, as low as Joe Biden numbers is, you bet not invite him to another damn campaign rally.
Do you want to see Joe Biden run for a second term?
She's got to go.
Yeah, that's an easy question. That's not going to take long. Do you want to see Joe Biden?
I don't want to answer that question because we have not. That's not. Yeah, I don't want to answer that question.
Okay.
I mean, he's the president and he has the right to run for a second term. Absolutely. That's good. But I don't want to. I don't want. I'd rather you not do that. Answer. You got like 2 minutes to be in the car. Yeah, I know. I got to get to the.
Well, thanks very much.
The other thing.
I plead the fifth. I have a secret document that I think you need to say.
Who's coming with? Who's coming with?
He's the president and he has the right to run for a second term.
This is embarrassing.
I don't think Joe Biden is ever going to get invited to another damn campaign. Next!
There are those on the progressive side who aren't really happy that Gavin Newsom is starred now in 3 ads for President Trump.
Well, if Gavin Newsom ran in 2024, this will be his 4th. Next!
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, President Joe Biden.
Not for long, and you not at all. Now that your daddy can't help you.
More than double his pre-pandemic numbers. I'm wondering, Carla, how much of this is strategic? We know that Newsom's a political animal. Is he looking forward maybe to some higher office beyond California sometime maybe after November, the next political round?
I will answer that for California. Hell no.
CNN projects that California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom defeats the recall and will serve out the year-plus left on his term.
Gavin Newsom being recalled more than Donald Trump being impeached. And Gavin Newsom live in a liberal state. Ain't that a bitch?
Gavin Newsom, the best governors in the country.
Yeah, if he was in China.
California, I'm not sure you know it. But if you didn't know it, you should. The eyes of the nation, this is not hyperbole, the eyes of the nation are on California.
And the California Gavin Newsom fucked up.
Because the decision you're about to make that's going to have a huge impact on California. It's going to reverberate around the nation.
And that's exactly what he did, because after the recall, he became more of a dictator.
All of you know that last year I got to run against the real Donald Trump.
Don't talk about Gay Newsome daddy like that. Who in the hell you think you is?
Well, this year, the leading Republican running for governor is the closest thing to a Trump clone that I've ever seen in your state.
Larry Elder is even closer to Donald Trump than Donald Trump's son, Gavin Newsome?
No, I really mean it. And he's leading the other team.
So yeah, a black man, Larry Elder, can be the face of white supremacy.
He's the clone of Donald Trump. Can you imagine him being governor of this state?
They shouldn't imagine your ass being president of the damn country. Their imagination ran a little too damn wild.
You can't let that happen.
You motherfuckers should have listened. Next! And Gay Newsome should have kept listening to his daddy, Donald Trump.
You know, a lot of people say that Gavin Newsom, he's a rising star in the Democratic Party. He is likely to be in a run for the White House sometime in the future.
Well, since Gay Newsome disrespected his daddy, he can cancel them dreams.
And some people are even suggesting this is sort of engineered to maybe help Donald Trump so that he can run again in the future. Look, the bottom line is Newsom is now a figure on the political stage, in part because of his relationship with Trump right now and his success in California, in part because his numbers are so high here.
Donald Trump giveth and he taketh. So do California, evidently.
Newsom turning back opposition that gained traction earlier in the pandemic, dodging what would have been a serious blow to his party and his career.
Because California gave your ass a second chance your ass didn't deserve.
In one of the nation's biggest and bluest states. Again, CNN projects that Democrat Gavin Newsom, the incumbent governor, defeats the recall and will remain governor of California.
Gay Newsome should be unemployed, but his ass trying to run for president. Ain't that a bitch?
As you mentioned, a #1 governor in terms of job approval in the United States is no small deal.
And being president is even a small deal.
So I think his relationship with Trump has helped him in this way. It has catapulted him to the national stage.
Because before Donald Trump, nobody knew who in the hell Gay Newsome was.
He was not known to many Americans outside of California before.
And the only two people that's known in the world more than Donald Trump is God and Jesus. Google it.
He's a regular on the Ellen Show, The View, all the late night shows.
Gay Newsome daddy made him a star. Gavin Newsome daddy, Donald Trump, made Gavin Newsome the man he was today. Because before Donald Trump, Gavin Newsome was just a plain old gay prince of Bel-Air. A nobody.
And on cable. This has upped his name recognition, and it has certainly upped his prospects to be a future candidate for the White House. I think there's no doubt about that.
I know it's a doubt. It's a no chance in hell. Hey, what's up? This is, well, you know who in the hell it was, or else you wouldn't have been watching this damn chip. Hey, what's up? This is, well, I don't need to tell you who in the hell I am, because if you don't know who in the hell I am, you wouldn't have been watching this damn channel, or you definitely wouldn't have been watching the video this damn long. But I am holding I don't want to be like Hunter Biden donation, because I'm not trying to be like Hunter Biden. And no, I'm not talking about smoking crack or Parmesan cheese or having sex with hookers and owning the money and having my daddy pay for hell. I don't even know my daddy. And as you know, I get to start being a daddy and probably start becoming the main parent in my son's life starting Saturday. So if you want to leave a donation and help a young brother out with a little something, your kindness will be appreciated. You can leave a Cash App, you can go to PayPal, you can send it through the P.O. Box, or on my next video, you can send me a super chat. You can send it through the You can send it through the PO. Do it for the kids. Well, not the kids. My damn kid, damn it. It's always been my dream to be a father and a comedian, and hell, now I get a chance to be both at the same time too. A father and a comedian. That's always been a black nigga's dream. So if you want to help me out and help me accomplish a real nigga dream, go ahead and leave a donation and do it for the kids. If you don't do it for the kids, your ass should be feeling guilty. Hell yeah, I'm trying to have you develop a guilty conscience. You should feel guilty if you don't donate to the damn kids. Not the kids, my damn son. See you on the next video. I can't be talking too much because I got to earn some donations.